All right, you're live.
Okay, it is Wednesday, July 17th at 6:08 p.m. Welcome to the Cleveland Community Police Commission's meeting of the Police Policy Committee. I will call this meeting to order and welcome everybody and roll call. Shonda Benito.
Present.
Kyle Early.
Present.
And Pete Van Leer. And present, Alana Ferguson is not here tonight. So with that, we have agenda review. And, I'm supposed to also, I've been asked to read this statement, which I will do. So this meeting of the Cleveland Community Police Commission is a lawful meeting under section 605.04 of the codified ordinances. Quote, no person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which substantially obstructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting, procession, or gathering. The members of the public and commission are invited to speak only under the rules set by this commission. Speaking out of turn in violation of the rules of this commission interferes with the due conduct of this lawful meeting and may constitute a violation of section 605.04, and that would be a misdemeanor of the first degree. So that's my statement as we get started. Is there any from the committee members any agenda items that we want to look at or revise the agenda in any way? Charlotte, you're good? Okay. Public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Yes.
We're going to be limiting, okay, go ahead. We're going to be limiting to a few minutes each, 3 minutes each.
Hi, this is Lou. Good evening, everybody. And I am only a community member attending the meetings because I represent the unhoused population and other populations in the community, which needs this commission to be functional properly. So please do not think that I'm taking sides of any commissioner or a group of commissioners. Yes, you guys have a clash. You guys bakers, you guys do whatever throughout all the meeting all year long, from last year actually. I just want to see you guys would think differently and hearing each other's voices instead of stick to your own ideas. Even you think right now your idea is from the majority, but unfortunately sometimes even the majority could be wrong at a certain time. If it's not the case, why do you think our police practices has been so wrong for decades in the community? To require a consent decree to correct the issue. These are long-term accumulations. We understand commission cannot change everything overnight. But once you have to see this bigger pictures, please understand different voices in the commission actually are important. If you want to make sure your voice is heard, then the same thing. Other commissioners, doesn't matter what kind of idea they have, popular or unpopular, their voices should be heard as well. Just to rule out certain people would not really help you guys to fulfill the duty. And please do not think the community members coming to the meeting is to challenge certain group of commissioners or some commissioners or in a certain way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public?
Yeah, so I wanted to speak today, and I just wanted to let the public know that on July 9th, the leadership of the Community Police Commission called the police on Commissioner Wong for attending the Accountability Committee meeting. The co-chairs admitted in a recent letter that they treated Commissioner Wong, quote, as a member of the public, and they demanded that, quote, she must sit with the rest of the community members. After the police refused to arrest Commissioner Wong, the accountability chair refused to have the meeting. This is a ridiculous situation. Commissioner Wong is a member of the commission. She has the rights and responsibilities of a commissioner. And according to the charter, the only person who has the right and the power to remove a commissioner to prevent them from doing work on the commission is Mayor Bibb. He needs to give the commissioner written charges if she's being removed. She needs written charges that's outlined in the commission, and there needs to be a trial where the commissioner has a right to subpoena and present evidence. The public has a right to this trial because this is our commission. The charter was written, it was voted on by the majority of Cleveland. How this functions is a matter of public concern. We need to have this public trial because there have been countless accusations being thrown back and forth, and there needs to be an opportunity to present evidence, subpoena, and explain all that is going on. For months now, there's been an attempt to remove Commissioner Wong, and we need to have all of the facts laid out. We need to have all of the allegations of misfeasance, malfeasance, etc., handled in a public trial where we can all see what the truth is and what the fabrications are. So it's kind of ridiculous that Commissioner Wong is now sitting at this table. I don't understand why the meeting on July 9th couldn't have happened. Completely ridiculous to call in the police on a commissioner, on a body that is meant to be overseeing the police. So I'll stop there.
Okay. Any more comments from members of the community?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm disappointed to see the rest of the commission isn't here. I'm sure they all have really good reasons. Hi, Kyle. I'm good. How are you? So those of you that know me, my name is don't know me. My name is Mariah Crenshaw. I'm the lead researcher and analyst for Chasing Justice. And I spent a lot of time going through peace officers' files throughout the state of Ohio. Yes, gentlemen, I probably looked at your files already. And so I stay very busy, and I get a plethora of emails and phone calls and text messages and concerns about what's going on here with this commission. I am very disappointed in Mayor Justin Bibb, who has been silent on what's going on in this commission. He has a duty, a responsibility to step up to the plate and to make sure that this commission runs according to the charter change. We, the residents, made a decision to have autonomy away from the city, and yet Mark Griffin, who decides he wants to give legal advice and legal opinions, is in sheer conflict with this commission. He has no business being in the business of this commission. It is a conflict of interest, and y'all can tell him I said so. As you all know, I came here last year, and I was pretty heated because I sat through an entire meeting, and I heard things that the commission has not been able to complete. And now we are a year later, and still things have not been completed. There's nothing but chaos going on here. So I'm going to say to the commission one more time, mommy is home now. Pick up your toys off of the floor and learn to get along. Because you were appointed to this commission for a reason, and people trusted you. They had faith in you, and they said, we want these people to be on the commission. And there's been nothing but absolute chaos, and this is just not acceptable in the society that we are trying to build. We've got Trump all over the United States, people shooting guns, people want to fight each other, they want civil wars, and we can't even get along in the same room. The chaos must end. You must set an example for the future commissioners who will be appointed and taking these seats. You must establish this commission so that it is stable enough for the next people who come in to be appointed to this commission can do the work, because so far the work hasn't been done, and there's not enough established to say that you have a stable system in place for it to happen. I am not going to spend the rest of my evening listening to chaos and bitterness and anger. Learn to get along. I come from a school of people who we fought, we argued, but by the time we left the room, we were all friends. We could agree to disagree. So you all need to learn how to respect one another's opinions. And as far as Ms. Wong is concerned, her place is not sitting with the public. It is sitting at the table until she is removed. She will not abdicate her throne, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Okay. All right, so let's proceed. On our agenda, the first issue up is the arrestee restraint transport and supervision GPO. That was sent out. And did we print copies?
It's on the website for them to look at, so.
Okay, so
If you go to the calendar for tonight, you could pull it up to look at it if you want to follow along. If anyone needs a print copy, I can do it. It'll take a few minutes.
So I think we're just going to talk through some of this tonight. We're not going to necessarily have a vote. I think there's a few questions perhaps, but we'll see where we end up. So, Commissioner, do you want to start on this?
Yeah, so a couple things we added in here is one, we added under restraint procedures, under the section where it says members shall handcuff all arrestees, exceptions may be made for. We added persons with disabilities, and then also people who are deaf or hard of hearing. And then we added kind of a list of steps that officers should use, including that they should, if they have to be handcuffed, they should be handcuffed in front so that they can still, as best they can, use sign language or write. And then also kind of laying out that handcuffing someone who is deaf or hard of hearing should be, in the rear, should be used as a complete last resort, and only if there's serious risk of physical harm to officers themselves or others or property. And then also, if an individual who is deaf or hard of hearing presents a serious risk and is handcuffed in the rear, the handcuffs should be removed to the front or removed when the safety issue is resolved. And then it also clarifies that arrestees who are deaf or hard of hearing, once the situation is under control, that they should be completely uncuffed when there is a sign language interpreter there, either in person or through video remote interpreting, so that they can freely and effectively communicate with the interpreter. And then the other section that it isn't in the updated draft, but I wanted to propose that we change bullet point number 2, instead of saying juveniles under age 10, is juveniles under age 13. And then also kind of adding some language. I know that I think you have some draft language, Pete, but saying that minors are only cuffed if there's a threat to safety.
Yes, I think we're still developing this. I think we want to get some feedback from people in the community who are focused on juvenile justice and working with children. I do have a question for the members of the division here, Captain Simon, Sergeant Graham. In terms of the child's age, and you had in your draft under the age of 10, is there what drives that age threshold for you all? And we're going to be looking into best practices just to make sure we're aligned with what's out there. We want to get your sense of where that's at. Sorry to throw this on you, but I mean, just
yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure how that particular age was chosen, other than the small stature.
Okay. So it'd be great if you have any comment on that, we'll consider it, but we're going to look at what best practices are. And to me, I agree with Commissioner, but it seems young, and I would like to put some language in here about making an effort to avoid handcuffing children under that age, and unless there's a serious and clear threat of physical harm. And I know ages can be arbitrary. There's body size, what have you, but I think there needs to be some clear protections from that. So I have a question about because we have a lot of language that we put in an email, and we'll work on that language around the deaf, hard of hearing. I'm still talking to the division here. It says members may use discretion in handcuffing persons taken into custody based solely upon mental health issues. So I guess my question here is a GPO about arrestees. So the assumption here is that someone is being arrested solely because they have a mental health issue, and I'd like to hear more about what's driving that language, because it seems like having a mental health issue is not in and of itself a crime. So I'm wondering where that's coming from, and we'll have to work on that language as well.
Yeah, that might just need to be a tweak. Okay. That just may need to be a tweak in the language, as I'm not sure that's what that section was intended to mean. So we'll take a look at that.
Okay, yeah, and we'll be looking at it too, just to see what some of the best practices are around that. Trying to think, I think those were the questions I had for members of the division. Did
You
have
also
anything?
mentioned putting something at the top about the.
Oh, right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the other piece, looking at state law, and a commenter brought this up to Commissioner Benito, and then I was kind of looking at this. In terms of, I mean, this is about restraint, transport and supervision. So wondering if, I mean, I think it would make sense perhaps at the top where it says, you know, the policy of the Division of Police to comply with use of force directives and properly restrain, transport, and supervise arrestees. Retaliatory force or any other form of punishment is strictly prohibited. I'm wondering about putting language in there about following state law, which prohibits holding people in prone position. I think I'd like to put that in there, unless that's somewhere addressed in a different GPO that we should look at. Is there any? So
Yeah, it's
does it?
addressed in use of force.
Okay.
That's why the reference to use of force is there.
Okay. All right, we'll look into that.
I don't think it hurts to have just a clarification in there that says, you know, since it's laying out a lot of the policies and procedures around handcuffing, because, you know, there's just in general restraining someone using prone, which could look like someone who's not cuffed, but I think especially we would want to make sure that that's clear. That would be against state law.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you. I have a few comments about the restraint. I was unfortunately just sent this a few hours ago after asking for the agenda many times. Is there anything that you would like to say to me, Commissioner Burley? Okay, we should try to say everything on record, if you can please do that. My concern about number 4 is the way I'm reading it, and I apologize because I only got it a few hours ago, is that members shall handcuff all arrestees except for exceptions made for. So is Commissioner Benito, when it says persons with disabilities, are the exceptions to not handcuff them? And why are they not spelled out what the exceptions are, and what does the exceptional kind of situation require? Commander Simon, would you be able to answer that question? Is that the intent of procedures 1, restraint?
That language is added by your committee.
No, I mean, just that one section, members shall handcuff all arrestees, exceptions may be made for. What are the exceptions? Meaning that it's still discretionary, or are they, if someone is pregnant, if it's a juvenile under 10, if it's an elderly person, whatever, we could probably establish elderly, and also a person with disabilities, they're not to be handcuffed, or what is the actual nature of the exception?
I think the language here is pretty clear that exceptions to not handcuff, right? So, and it spells out under females, like what can be done. So it's about not handcuffing or handcuffing in the front, right? So that's added there. So I don't think.
It is unclear because you're talking about if it's.
Okay,
about
Commissioner, I'm speaking. So you are here. I'm welcoming you here to the table. You are not a committee member,
It doesn't
but I'm
matter.
it does. Our
It doesn't.
practice in general is that we invite commission members to the table. I have not invited you, but I'm accepting you here. So you need to follow the procedures of our, so I am speaking. And
Well,
so
I wasn't
I am
finished
just saying,
tonight, so-
I am just saying that Captain Simon is not familiar with the language. If you have something quick to add, please feel free.
No, I mean, you covered it
Right.
perfectly.
So
But
I think we
there's-
can work on this language. We'll workshop it and we will
There's
look at best practices and we'll move from there.
If I can address something?
Very briefly, sir.
So
Commissioner?
this is the problem, is that what Commissioner Benito has added is talking about cuffing not in the back, which I understand. And there's just not clarity as to what we're talking about, what the exceptional behavior looks like.
Okay.
And then again, under B, members may use discretion in handcuffing persons taken into custody based solely upon mental health issues. I want to know how that's can possibly be assessed. And these are, I mean, if you have policies that have so much discretion, this is going to lead to a lot of problem. And this is, I want to say, I witnessed an encounter of the police in Fremont for
Commissioner,
this.
so
Please
that
tell me,
issue of B has already been addressed.
how has
So
it
we're
been
gonna take,
addressed?
we just talked about it for a moment, we're gonna look into it, they're gonna
You're gonna
see if
look
they
into
can,
it.
they're gonna clarify the language, so
Who-
I think we're gonna move on here.
Which work group
We
is
need to-
taking care of this?
This is the policy committee is working on, so Commissioner, at this point, we're gonna move on to a different issue. And that's where we're gonna end this at, so we've got some work to do here, and we will get that.
So
done.
I'm
So Commissioner,
I want to ask, this work
I
is
am
being
calling this
done.
meeting to order, all right, so please
I don't think I'm
refrain
out of order.
from disrupting this lawful meeting. Speaking out of turn,
It's an
according to the
unlawful
chair-
removal of me, actually. So
I'm calling this meeting to order.
We can
We are
maintain
going to,
order.
your intent seems to be to interfere with the due conduct of this meeting,
I'm
Commissioner,
not,
so
I'm
this
not
is a warning
attempting.
that we need to stop and
I'm not
continue the
attempting to do
business of
that.
this
If you
meeting.
feel that I'm
So we
doing
are
that,
now,
Mr. Bailey, if you feel that I'm doing that, please feel free to call the
Okay.
police to arrest me right
Commissioner,
there.
I am not going to arrest and make Commissioner
So then
statements. I'm violating the
don't-
rules of this
I'm
meeting.
not, you cite an ordinance and you're saying I'm violating it. I'm not
Commissioner,
violating that
Commissioner, I'm
ordinance.
calling this meeting to order again. I
And
am
I'm
the chair of
trying
this
to
meeting,
speak.
and you are out of order, Commissioner, and we are going to
Well,
proceed.
I make
Okay.
I don't agree with you, so let's vote on
Very
point of
good.
order and we need to talk about it. That's the
Okay,
Robert's
we're going to
order.
vote on point of order.
No,
And
hold
all-
on, hold on.
Fine.
She's
I'm on
censured,
the
so.
table,
Commissioner,
doesn't
You
matter.
have been censured. You are not a member of this commission,
I've been censured
this
for what?
committee. So
I've
we are
been
not
censured
going to
for
discuss,
what?
Commissioner,
Censured
this is
because
your
you
third
determined it.
call. I make,
I
this is
am-
your third violation of commission rules. I am running this meeting.
So
If
then,
you continue to interrupt and interfere with this meeting, we're
I'm
going to
not
have,
continuing, then what do you
yes,
guys?
you are. Okay, we are going to cancel the meeting. We're going to adjourn the meeting. If you
You're
would
gonna
like to
adjourn the
continue the meeting, please follow the rules.
Do you recognize, I just want to, do you
I am
recognize
going
that
to
there
make a
are
motion that
disagreements?
we adjourn this meeting.
Seconded.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
I wanted
Aye.
this, huh? No,
Meeting
you
is
guys are
adjourned.
not having a free discussion of the materials. That is what you're doing. And you're gonna go back into your back room and research these issues and not, Jason, are you cutting off the feed so that there's not a public record of this?
The meeting's over, so there's no need to.
Another again,